And now we proceed to the next item in our today's agenda, Kinchance, Believe, Empower, Become. Here to talk to you about it, Dominik Ebebenge. Dominik, please join me.
I stem from this land of inequality, a land violated for centuries for its mineral wealth, and its people left hopelessly alone. In my life, I was blessed with a chance to give chances to others. This chaotic urban jungle is filled with amazing youth, with raw talent, drive, and hunger, which, if only given a level ground to grow, could become real diamonds from the rough. There's so much to be done, so many hearts to fill with hope, so many chances to create together. Let's be the game changer. In what is today a place of suffering and exclusion, together we will build a world-class football academy that will create thousands of chances to change lives and shape a better future. Let's believe in talent, empower the youth to grow, and have them become the best versions of themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dominik Ebebenge, and it is my pleasure and honor to present to you what is a project of my life, Kinchance. Kinchance will be the first football academy built with the power of the blockchain community. But more than that, Kinchance will become the blueprint for player development in Central Africa, which happens to be a region particularly abundant in football talent. Kinchance will make a real, lasting difference in the real world, and at the same time give you, the investors, a chance to make what is maybe one of the most ethical financial returns one could imagine. And all this while enjoying a real Web3 experience, which includes some of the latest technologies and trends, including the metaverse, virtual reality, and NFT. We believe in giving chances to empower the vulnerable youth of Africa to become the best versions of themselves. So today I'll tell you a story, which is a story of my life, and a story that brings me before you today. And that story begins a few kilometers from here, where I was born. I was born into the dream of seeing my favorite football club, Legia Warsaw, play in the elite Champions League, something I had not seen since I was 6 years old. And at the age of 17, I was hired in the sport department of Legia Warsaw. And a few years later, I was appointed the head of that sport department and found myself doing all the things I've been dreaming of doing as a child. I was responsible for the team composition, I was responsible for the player transfers, I was negotiating with the biggest clubs and agents of the world. I was changing their reality, something I had definitely dreamed about throughout my childhood. And in 2016, I saw that childhood dream of mine come true, and we qualified to the Champions League, and in fact, did quite well in it. See, I may not look it, but I'm the first man in my family who was born outside of the jungle. And you heard me right. My family live in the equatorial forest of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and until today, live a life of hunter-gatherers. So in 2016, when I received the somber, and I was realizing my childhood dream, but at the same time I received the somber news about the passing of my grandfather. See, I wasn't raised with my father, so that was the first chance, the first opportunity for me to go to the Congo and explore my heritage. And that visit, that trip, had certainly changed my life, and changed my perspective on life, and changed the way I see myself in this world. You cannot unsee the things that you've seen. And I've seen a lot of poverty. I've seen a lot of suffering. I've seen a lot of hopelessness. But at the same time, I saw an ocean, an abundance of amazing, talented youth who just happened to endure every possible barrier of entry, every possible barrier of development of their own personal talent. A truly heartbreaking scene. And I could not help but to think that the only difference between me and them is the fact that I was fortunate enough to be born into the comfort of the modern world. So I had decided to put my personal resources together and build a strong coalition of people who will see the same things that I've seen and possibly inspire some action. And this is what had happened. I had invited my influential personal friends, Mr. Bogusław Leśnodorski, the former owner of the Polish biggest club, Legia Warsaw, and Mr. Krzysztof Stanowski, the leader of influence in the Polish media. And we had taken some time to travel the Congo and find a boy from a very impoverished background whose life we wanted to change. And this is what we had done and offered that boy a chance to build a professional career in Poland, something he had so successfully done and already changed the life of himself and that of his family. For someone so deeply entrenched in the football business as I am, I've always been very interested in the origins and the heritage of the African players playing for some of the best clubs in Europe and some of the best national teams in Europe. And one thing you will realize yourselves if you do that same exercise is the over-representation of players of Congolese heritage, of Congolese roots, among whom the common denominator is that they were all born or raised in Europe, meaning born and raised into normal conditions. Now, if you take that a step further and realize the existence of very successful football academies in different parts of Africa, those a little more developed than the Congo, like Senegal and Ghana, you will realize the potential, the incredible raw potential that lays in this continent and in this particular model. And here in front of you, on the previous slide, you could see some of the primary examples of the Congolese players that I'm talking about who play for France, Belgium, England, Germany, and play at that absolutely highest level of football. And at the same time, here on this slide, you can see the references of players who have been developed in the said benchmark football academies in different regions of Africa. So if you take that deduction that we had gone through with Mr. Leśnodorski and Mr. Stanowski further, you will very soon realize there's only one result of that deduction, and that is the facility before you, the facility of Kinchance, the first state-of-the-art football academy in Central Africa, located in the city of Kinshasa, a city of 20 million people and an age average of 18. A place that takes away all of the said barriers of entry. A place that can create not only well-rounded athletes, but also well-educated people who can withstand the challenges of a professional career at the highest level and can become community leaders of the future who save the lives of dozens and hundreds further on. So we want to recreate, in essence, the very same conditions that had allowed players like Lukaku, for example, to grow and become who they are today, the best versions of themselves. The value we will create will be overwhelming. I'm talking about the economic value, but I'm most importantly talking about the social value. So Kinchance Academy, our facility, as I've mentioned, will create well-rounded people. We will accommodate over 150 players and staff, some of the most extraordinary talents the world can offer, that we will be able to find also through the use of the new technology and minimize the risks of taking players who will not be able to make that whole journey with us. We will be able to provide the right nutritioning for the players, something they cannot count on a day-to-day basis today. We will provide 4 even, level grass pitches, something that sounds like a standard to us here, but something that does not exist in this part of the world. We will have a school and library which will equip the boys with the right intellectual properties in order to manage their careers in the best possible way. Our facility, the facility of Kinchance, will aim to be a self-sustainable facility. That's why we will also include some commercial features in it, like the hotel and restaurant, which will not only provide revenues for that self-sustainability, but also will create another layer of profit that will be redistributed among the investors. Our model will be based on 3 pillars, the model of our success. We will scout the most extraordinary players between the age of 12 and 13 and place them in our academy, create incredible value, incredible players that we will then further on monetize through international transfers, and 50% of the profits will be redistributed among the community of investors. At the same time, we will take advantage of our competences in scouting and positioning the players in order to pick out the best talents from different countries of the Central African regions who are ready to already start their professional careers internationally, predominantly in Europe. As I've mentioned before, we will also take advantage of that beautiful location of the site on which Kinchance will be constructed and take advantage of the commercial aspects of the infrastructure in order to create a place that will last generations and that is not dependent on anything. So the predominant proportion of the funds, and it is a $10 million budget that Kinchance is looking for, will be used to build the infrastructure. The rest of the funds will be mainly used to create a certain operational reserve that will allow the project to reach a place of that self-sustainability that we will ensure the moment we are producing, developing the first generation of players. So the beautiful thing about this project is, yes, it's attractive economic model, yes, the social impact of it, but at the same time, it's the first project where the traditional game of football meets the latest technology and creates an experience for the community that's unmatched and unparalleled in this domain. The moment we have not communicated anything officially about the project, but through the word of mouth, Starterra, who are partners with this project, have found out about it and were so enthused to offer us the opportunity to make it in the blockchain reality, in the blockchain that needs the projects that make a real lasting difference, that create value, that do change lives of the people. So our token will be packed with utilities, will be packed with action, with experience that will allow you to live with the project as it grows. We will allow a good degree of football manager type governance where the community will be involved in making some strategic decision-making about the future of the project. We will create and issue NFTs of our players, and please do remember that among them there will be some future football superstars, and obviously our community will be able to have access to them early. We will obviously allow the community to farm the tokens and in exchange receive a series of very interesting, unique prizes, including lottery tickets to visit the project itself. Most importantly, for some type of investors, obviously, there is a huge financial incentive in the project. I will explain this a little further on, but a 50% proportion of any profits made on player transfers and commercialization of the land will go back to the community. Our football community metaverse, as we call it, will create a very enhanced viewing experience. We'll introduce the elements of virtual reality that will allow the community to participate in a way in our trainings, in our games, in the events that we'll be organizing in our metaverse. Something that is key to mention, but obviously I cannot disclose all our communication for the next few weeks, but this project is really founded on some amazing people. And the people I've mentioned just now, I would not call them the most attractive in it. The project is based on a very solid foundation, and there are some interesting, incredibly interesting, stunning, I would say, celebrities involved in it who will be co-founders and active agents of Kinchance. I'm predominantly speaking about African football legends. So we want to give a very good insight to the community of whatever is happening with the project as it grows into the daily routine of what we do. A very quick word again on the blockchain economy. 50% of the profits from any activities will be redistributed among the token holders in proportion to their holding. Now, one thing key to remember and take away from this, refer back to the slides before, and you will be able to quickly understand the kind of value, continuous value, that Kinchance will be able to produce. I've mentioned about farming of the tokens. As I've said, we will allow for the community to do that, and we want to specialize in really surprising you guys with some amazing, interesting prizes and perks. To put some structure into our community, we have divided it into different packages, different tiers, that, depending on the level of your investment, will give you access to different features. And those are all details that will be available for you personally. We obviously have our stall here during the 2 days. I welcome you to come and ask any questions. And we are right now in the phase of whitelisting for the private round. So this is the first official event in which we're taking part in. Tokenomics, developed by Starterra. A couple of words on it. The total supply will stand at 1 billion, while the Genesis supply will stay at 8 million. Again, if you want to explore some more details, I welcome you to come and talk to us. A couple words to finish off about the project roadmap. As I've said, today we are officially launching our communication. It will build suspense. It will definitely surprise you in the coming weeks, I believe very positively. We are aiming to deliver a fully operational facility by December 2023. We have done a tremendous amount of work for the last 2 years in order to arrive in a moment where I can say the project is totally ready to launch and everything is zipped up and buttoned up. Lastly, the team. You will obviously very quickly notice the question marks. It's not that I don't know who's on the team. I do know it very well. It's just it's too exciting to share with you today. We will disclose this in our communication. The project is built around an international coalition of field experts, the strongest possible names one can imagine. And I am proud and honored to be doing this project with people who have been my childhood idols. Obviously no idols among those guys here, but you will soon find out who I'm talking about. So I want to thank you for your attention. I believe and hope that you are at least intrigued and interested about our project. I'll be so happy to answer any of your questions and have a quick one-to-one. As I've said, we're creating a white list. In return, you will be receiving some official materials. Thank you very much.
Dominik, Ebebenge, Kinchance, thank you very much, and good luck with your project, Dominik.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.